back to the eSports report presented by the Xbox One. I'm Benson, joined by the wonderful Mr. X, and we've got a pretty awesome segment right now coming up. The MLG Pro League AW Season 1 Awards, some of which I don't agree with.
Tons of huge players this year, coming onto the scene. So Max just went through some of.
I don't know why we gave the guy who's clearly the most delusional person.
We didn't give our opinions on it as well, but these are the ones that he came up with. So we're going to start off Hardpoint Player of the Season.
This is going to be this is good. I somewhat agree with this. Somewhat. It goes to Parasite. Yes. Hardpoint Player of the Season, Parasite. Coming in with a 1.13 Hardpoint KD.
Yeah.
Fourth in Hardpoint caps, 9.28 caps. Fourth in Hardpoint defense, 3.32 defense. Best map, Detroit, interestingly enough, with a 1.34 KD and an average of 8 caps.
What's impressive is his KD combined with the caps and defense per game. Just doing a ton in the OBJ department on both sides, getting into the hill and defending in the hill, playing out of the hill, but also keeping that KD very strong.
I'm impressed. Obviously, some honorable mentions. Crimsix, who in Hardpoint this year has just looked absolutely phenomenal.
Right. And then I think you had to talk about Formal as well.
Yes.
I think Formal's huge for Optic Gaming, and then Scump has had a great season.
And that Burns off, surprisingly, creeping into honorable mentions for Hardpoint 2. His Hardpoint game has actually really been very, very strong, and Scumpy as well. That also, but Hardpoint Player of the Season, congratulations to Parasite.
I agree with that.
Yeah. I would too. His objective work plus his slaying work is what's
impressive. What really
it's being able to do both at the same time.
Right.
It's just so
to keep
crazy.
that positive KD and keep a very nice positive KD and do that objective work in the top 4 in caps and defense. That's really what you kind of look at. Yeah.
It's good. Moving on. Ctf Player of the Season goes to none other than Ginger Ninja.
I think
it's Scumpy, a 1.31 KD, 0.59 caps, 3 returns, 2.03 defense, but number 1 in CTF returns in the season. Number 1 in CTF KD. Best map. Biolab, interestingly, one of the more inconsistent CTS, but Scumpy has that one mastered with an average of a 1.37 KD.
Well, I think that one is great for Scump because he plays at such a fast pace, able to just slay out. But the returns and obviously that number 1 overall KD in CTF proved to be huge.
Yeah, he's been pretty dominant all year. And some honorable mentions there. Ricky, Mochilla, both looked good in CTF this year.
And Abel as well, coming over from Halo, had a huge year, so far in Advanced Warfare.
How different is CTF for a Halo player coming across? Would you say it's very different?
It's very different. I mean, obviously, there's still kind of the same idea and theory behind it, but it's a much different game. Yeah,
very different. All right. Moving on, Uplink Player of the Season. This one, congratulations to Hugh. You're going to go ahead and pick up that one. Number 1 in Uplink KD with a 1.28. Average of 2.3 uplinks per game. His best map is going to be Comeback right there with an average of a 1.29. So.
Hugh is one of those players that he's blown up this year. Since the start of Advanced Warfare. Not many people knew him coming in, but he has made a name for himself. Definitely going to expect him to be around for the next few years. But Parasite, again, an honorable mention. Scump as well, so they both had a very good uplink season.
Yeah, both those two players standing out, but of course, congratulations to Hugh winning that. And then, of course, only one game type left there. It's going to be some Search and Destroy. Player of the Season, you can't argue with this, in my honest opinion. This one goes to Parasite. Absolutely phenomenal Search and Destroy player throughout Season 1. I said the other day, I feel like he's been the best Search and Destroy player statistically. I don't think anyone can touch him right now. And the stats, Matt, they kind of support that.
The stats definitely back it up. I think some other players you'd have to mention. I would say, Formal. He's gotten a lot better in S&D. Yeah. I would put Slasher in there as well.
I'm surprised Slasher wasn't in there.
Slasher, very talented S&D player. That's what I think makes that FaZe team very scary. And then, Ricky Zuma as well. Zuma going huge always in S&D.
Just touch on some of Parasite's stats, though. A 1.1 S&D KD, 1.36 plants, and a 29.19% first blood ratio.
Yeah.
Now, you look at that, and, it's the 8th highest S&D KD, the 9th highest first blood percentage. Only player to average a positive S&D KD and 1.0.
He's changed his game up in Advanced Warfare.
He has, but when you just actually understand all of that data on your screen, he's doing everything. everything. You can look at that and be like, yo, he has the 8th highest S&D KD. That's awful. Like, he has the 9th highest first blood. That doesn't make any sense.
But he's also carrying the bomb.
He's planting the bomb. Like,
and he's getting first blood 30% of the time.
that's an absurd combination of statistics to put together into one player. He is literally doing everything.
It's just, he's a phenomenal start to Advanced Warfare.
It's crazy. And how many times have you seen this guy drop double digits in S&D?
All the time.
All the time, it seems. Every single S&D, you see this guy at the top of the leaderboard. Honestly, this one, without a doubt, goes to Parasite. I can not argue that at all.
Yes, I think Slasher obviously has a case. He's a very talented S&D player as well.
He's been up and coming. That's what's scary about that FaZe team as well. You have both of them on the same team.
And then Ricky, always one of the more talented S&D players, regardless of Call of Duty game.
Yeah, Ricky played very, very well. Now, the award for overall respawn player of the season. So combining all of those respawns together gives you one pretty obvious outcome, I feel. Congratulations to Scump once again. You're going to walk away with that award. Some important stats from Hardpoint: 1.21 KD, 7.48 caps, and average of just under, just over rather 2.5 defense. Ctf, a 1.3 KD. I mean, 3 returns, 2.03 defense, and his uplink, a 1.22 KD. This guy just doesn't go negative.
His game is taking it to a whole new level. I don't know if it's Crim maybe getting in his ear a little bit, making him play a little bit smarter, I would say. But, I mean, he's just been playing phenomenal. I think some other players that you would have looked at, Huke, I would have said Formal, Naval as well. Then now Crimsix. I would say Crim is changed his role a little bit, but still, he's an important, huge piece to Optic Gaming's success so far.
So, yeah, congratulations to Scumpy there with overall respawn player of the season. This one, I'm a fan of this award. Max has done well. He may have messed up on one or two things, but this is a pretty cool award.
Yeah, this one is kind of cool.
Record breaker of the season. This one is going to be play with most kills record.
These are just silly.
Map. All right, so those some of Formal's achievements. So his Hardpoint kills record. 52 kills against Optic Nation.
Yep. He has the record on, 3 of the Hardpoint maps?
Retreat Hardpoint, 55 versus AR. Biolab Hardpoint, 52 versus Optic Nation.
The most impressive one is the Solar one.
56
it's the second,
versus Team Caliber?
It's the second highest, Hardpoint kills in a single game. And Solar is a map that I feel like it's hard to get a ton of kills on.
56 kills?
Because it's so spread out. It's silly. I mean, I just looked at the CTF one. 54 kills on a CTF Biolab. That is pretty absurd. I would love to know if that one went into an overtime, but
yeah, that must have been. You can't.
CTF, we don't see
anyone.
There's no way
really, someone nearly gets 60 kills.
Even near 40 for a CTF is pretty huge. So you usually don't see anything near that. That's you can't argue any of those. It's just phenomenal.
That's a lot of kills for someone to be really coming out and picking you up. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Formal right there. Fantastic plays from him all season long. Now, rookie of the season. You kind of touched on this one a little bit earlier on. It has to go to Huke.
Yeah, has to go to Huke.
It's kind of hard.
You could have said
maybe the likes of TJ, but I think it has to be Huke.
Happy as well. Happy got off to a really good start, but no, Huke just number 3 in KD, number 2 in Slayer, number 1 in S&D KD. Pretty much, he's only behind really Scump and Parasite in a lot of these categories. I mean. Just had a phenomenal season for his first in the Pro League. I mean,
number 3 KD, number 2 Slayer, number 1 S&D KD. The guy's literally done it all. Best game mode uplink, 1.28 KD, average of 2.3.
And he was not a starter for a lot of the season.
Which is the even more mind-blowing thing.
So, I mean, he gets more games under his belt. I think these stats would have been even crazier. So I think he had a very, very good second half, obviously helping Aware get into Season 1 playoffs, helping them finish with one of the best, I think the second best record post-trade deadline behind Optic Gaming. This is a huge reason why.
Fantastic player, and I'm really excited to see what else he's going to achieve throughout Advanced Warfare. Moving on, the most improved player.
Do you agree with this one?
I completely disagree. Max has dropped the ball 1,000,000% on this.
Who did you before we show?
There can be no argument as to why it isn't Burns. There can genuinely be no argument.
Legal?
No. Most improved player. Burns went from last year being pretty detrimental at times.
Legal went from nobody knowing who he was to...
But that should surely be like Breakout Player of the Year, not Most Improved. There's a difference, I think, in that lineup.
Fair
because
enough.
Burns last year, and he'll say it himself, was not the best player. And everyone kind of knew him for Barnes moments. And this is why sometimes awards, you have to think outside of just statistics. I think just taking statistics doesn't tell you the whole story, because decision-making is something which isn't necessarily going to fall directly into stats. And that's the key for him, in my mind.
Trying to think of somebody
think of his
else
respawn. How many times last year in Ghost you see Burns drop 50 kills? Or obviously that's pretty difficult. In Domination, how many times do you ever see him really, go 30 plus? The guy is going consistently 40 bombs every single hardpoint.
Trying to think if there's anybody else. Nah. I mean,
I'm just
the person who it went to is phenomenal, but I think he was good already.
Exactly. It's kind of weird to say. Congratulations to Enable, Most Improved Player of the Year. I mean,
he just needed more time, I think.
I just don't understand how he was already good. Like, he was good on Ghosts.
Yeah, he did take his game to a whole new level.
This is a player who in Season 1 of Ghosts had the number 3 S&D KD.
I mean, he's number 2 in overall KD.
1.18.
Number 6 in Slayer. He's one of, if not the only player positive in every game type. I think, no, actually, there are a few others.
There's 2 more, I think.
It's 2 more, I think, yeah. But
don't get me wrong. Enable, a fantastic
He's had an
player.
amazing season.
He's had a great season, but...
I mean, he's taken himself from what? A top...
Remember, he finished 4th at Anaheim.
Okay, so what would you consider him in Ghosts? Top what player?
In Ghosts? That's a good question. Maybe top 15, I think is fair. Maybe, it's kind of hard, though, because you have to kind of list every single player. He was good in Ghosts. You can't argue
He was good in Ghosts.
You can't argue that.
But he went from being good. He went from being good to a guaranteed top.
And Burns went from being pretty average at best at times, to now being, we both agreed, if that whole past history wasn't there, he would be on a top team, without a shadow of a doubt.
Okay, we agree with that. But
we agree.
Enable went from being a top...
Already good. Most improved.
Okay, he was already good, but he went from being good to being considered one of the top...
Potentially best in the game.
Top 5 players in the game.
Yeah, but...
You can comfortably say top 10. That's a huge jump. That's like going from being a borderline all-star to the MVP of the league the next year.
To me, that's not as impressive, though. I think someone making as big a jump as Burns did from being...
I'm not going to knock that Burns didn't make a huge jump. I'm just saying, I think
no,
that...
I agree. No, I get why, statistically speaking, it's Enable. Like, you look at everything he's done, he's an amazing player.
You look at it from season to season.
I've been preaching about Enable all year. Like, everyone knows I'm a big Enable fan when it comes to this game, and I think he can do great things. If he doesn't win a championship on this game, I'm going to be mind-blown.
You could have made...
mind-blown.
You might say I'm crazy. You could have made an argument even Scump most improved player from the end of Ghost to now. Statistically speaking, and the way he's playing, absolutely. Optic had a season in Ghost where they finished last. He went from... Okay, throw everything, pre that out the window. What? All right, he's phenomenal Modern Warfare 3, right? Yeah. He's very good at Black Ops 2. Mm-hmm. Ghosts. Season 2, they didn't even qualify. Season 3, they were playing better.
I can't take you seriously right now.
Okay, he went from... I would love to see his stats from the end of Season 3 in Ghost to now. How much of a different player he is and a better player he is.
I think that'd be crazy to give Scump the most improved player. But I can understand your statistical argument. That isn't too crazy.
It's a statistical argument.
It isn't too crazy. It isn't too crazy. But I just don't think you can give that award to Enable. But
I think you can.
I don't.
Makes a lot of sense. Congratulations, Ian.
Ian, I love you like a brother. A ginger brother, but you don't deserve the most improved award. You deserve an award. I'd give him a different award. I don't know what I would give him, but I'd give him an award.
Yeah.
Maybe Breakout Player of the Year. How is that not?
But then
how does that not make more sense?
But then what about like Legal or Fierce?
No, I think Enable's done better.
As
a breakout player like that. Congratulations, Enable. You win Breakout Player of the Year. Burns wins Most Improved. There you go. Then everyone wins.
Ben's changing.
I'm changing. I'm going off script, baby.
You should go do.
You're going improv.
Yes.
No, just me. All right. Well, the most important award. the most important award, the MVP of Season 1. Can I get a drum roll? Hit me with a...
Do you agree with this?
Yes, 100%. Oh, maybe not 100%. You could argue one other player, I feel. There's only one other player you could argue could take this away.
Is the one other player on the honorable mentions?
Max should be fired. Oh, wait. Hold on. No, yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Is he number 2 in the honorable mentions?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I would have argued against.
Okay. So we're both on the same page.
Yep.
We're actually on the same page on this one. Congratulations. The most valuable player of the Call of Duty Advanced Warfare Season 1 goes to Scumpy. Just
not much of a shock. I mean, number 1 overall KD with a 1.24. Number 1 in Slayer, 31 kills per 10 minutes. That's absolutely absurd. Number 1 in CTF KD with a 1.31. Just look at his solar S&D stats, 1.85 KD. I think it had to be somebody from Optic Gaming.
I mean, come on, they've set the bar so high in terms of wins and losses. You can't argue that.
You could have easily made the argument that Scump doesn't put up these numbers if Formal doesn't play the role that he does, and Formal's putting up numbers as well.
Again, that's another thing which you have to kind of think about. It isn't just always, the guy that's putting up the numbers. There has to be someone who makes that. You explained it so perfectly. Was it yesterday or was it today where you were saying how Formal's kind of role that he plays of like slaying out the like paths allow plays like Scummy to just run through
2 days ago.
Yeah, explain that.
So here's my argument. Okay, so I'll break it down, then I'll tell you my argument. But Formal's role is so important because he plays that long distance game with a bow, and it just keeps players off the hill. It keeps players out of those lanes, and you're able to push those out as a submachine gun player. So it allows Scump to push into the hill without having to face off against an AR.
Right.
And then he's just dominating submachine gun players, which Scump is going to do all day long.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my argument.
Okay.
Could Crim fill Scump's role right now? Could Crim put up those numbers if Crim just said, I'm just going to go in and just kill everything?
Yeah. I think, I mean, of course, the guy's got so much ability.
Can Scump put up those numbers and Crim put up those numbers without Formal in the back clearing out those lanes without a bow?
I don't think they could.
So who's most valuable?
You kind of need both, don't you? Really?
You do.
Because you could have Formal and then no one picks up the extra kills that he does.
Crim deserves
honorable mention as well.
I think he's kind of been the.
There's a few that I'm not going to read out on that list. I just don't understand how that's even.
He's been the brain behind kind of the whole
operation.
Right. I think he's taken more of a step back role that you don't see Crim. Crim can easily put up the numbers. We all know Crim can put up the numbers.
Right.
He just doesn't need to because he can kind of guide those others around, and then he can do other things.
That's the key. You look at the start of Optic Gaming and a couple of the Pro League games, and some frustration really coming out from Crim because Hardpoint.
Things that he was used to.
This is the thing. Okay. Formal is just nasty raw gun skill on any FPS on console. You showed me that Halo video.
Didn't play Black Ops 2, so.
Right. This is where it gets interesting. He doesn't understand really Hardpoint. You have to learn that, okay? Scumpy is just naturally disgusting. His reaction time...
Scump's kind of knock in Black Ops 2 was that he just kind of ran around.
He just killed everything.
Yeah,
that was what he did.
He would break spawn. He would do stuff that push hills that didn't make a lot of sense. Nope. I think Crim kind of went in there, and they were so good on Black Ops 2 and Hardpoint that he kind of expected people were doing the things that they were doing, but they weren't. So kind of helping everybody catch up to speed. I don't want to say catch up to speed, but...
Essentially, yeah. In a way, he has to make sure that they're playing the game mode correctly enough that they can be more consistent at winning. Because it's all good and well just running onto hard points and killing everyone, but if that isn't a consistent way of winning...
It's all about playing in a play style that creates a consistent outcome. So I think Crim's done an amazing job with that team. I think any three of them could have been MVP.
Yeah, but congratulations once again to Scumpy as your MVP. Yeah. And then this is where it gets interesting, Matt.
Do you agree with both of these before we tell everybody?
It depends on the format. The next award is the All Call of Duty League team. So we're basically picking 4 players from the league, putting together and saying this would be our all-star lineup. If it was going to be the most dominant team in the league, this is what it would be. First one, we have 2. Number 1, we'll throw up that graphic.
All League Season 1
would be Scumpy, Enable, Crim, and Formal. Now, my biggest concern here is, are we assuming that Enable does a support role?
when you I don't think you need a when you do something.
Are we
like this,
just
I don't think
saying
you need a
really?
roll.
Because I kind of think, you look at those teams. We've seen teams in the past be made just out of 4 massive slayers and they haven't worked. Is the first thing I would say. Look at Optic Nation, for example, when they had both Swanee and Proofy, and TP was still slaying.
No, that's a very good point. I think this is though. I think if you were to take the 4
statistically best players,
best players in the league,
that's your lineup right there.
Parasite, I definitely think, and
you could vouch for him.
And also, a bunch of names.
That's what's interesting. That's team 1. Scump, Crim, Formal, and Enable. No real surprise to see those 3 from Optic Gaming. After the record that they've gone in the Pro League, it's impossible to argue against.
Yeah.
And Enable in that as well. That'd be a lethal team.
Oh, that would be a silly
It'd be
team.
disgusting. It'd be disgusting.
3 Halo players on that team.
Had to slip that in, didn't you?
And then the All COD League Season 1 Team 2 would be Saint, Hugh, Happy, and Parasite. What do you think about this squad?
Good, nowhere near as good as Team 1.
Oh, well, that's why they're Team 2. Can you argue for and against anybody getting... I could say maybe Looney had a very good season.
Yeah, Looney definitely had a good season. Actually, that's a good point. Who would you replace? I would say Happy for Looney, maybe.
Well, you got to look at... I think we talked a lot about Aware at the beginning of the season.
I think statistically, though, if Season 1 stats, it's hard to put anyone from TK in there, considering how bad of a start they had. If you remember that, the statistics are definitely going to be thwarted by that. If you were to take, since roster lock, since then, when they've been in a team house, everyone's definitely improved. I mean, you could argue a couple of those players should be in there.
Yes.
What I would love, though, and I'm sure this is probably not going to happen, but it would be awesome. Imagine at Season 1 finals, those 2 teams play against each other as like a featured game.
I would say Team 1 would win.
Yes. Still be cool.
Yeah. I mean, it would still be cool to
I'm always
watch.
trying to poop on my parade, man.
If you had to make a Team 3, who would it be?
I mean, that's obvious. It's come Formal and Crim. Oh, you mean make a Team 3?
Oh, yeah. Team 3,
I thought you said make a team of 3. That's why I looked at you. I was like, what the hell you want?
No, a third team.
I'd say Looney.
I would say...
I'd say Looney, Slasher.
Looney, Slasher.
Maybe... Would you have Ricky in there?
How good of a season did Clay have?
Oh, that's true. Yo, Clay.
Clay? Is there a Attach in there?
Ooh. Attach.
Zuma?
Too. There's some good players not making it in there. That's surprising, actually.
Yeah.
Could even maybe throw Burns in there. He has had a good season. But I think that's a bit of a far-fetched. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I mean, Slacked as well.
Yo, Slacked. That's a good point.
Had a very good season.
Dude, he had an amazing start to the season. It was unreal.
You could ton of great players in Advanced
Warfare. There really is a lot of good players. And that's what's made the competition, which is so great. It really has. It's made it phenomenal. But that's going to do it for the award show. So congratulations to all the pro players. They're going to win an award. Going to give them a little trophy or something at Season 1. Maybe just a small little thing and be like, hey, congratulations, you won an award on the season show. For now, though, quick commercial break. When we return, myself and Matt can be jumping into the Evolve game that we were talking about at the start of the show. Stay tuned.